Life as We Know It with Tom Walton.
We've all heard our president rant about fake news. I'm not sure exactly what that means, although I suspect in Donald Trump's case, it means any news report or story which might put him in a negative light. When a subordinate cut a deal with the special prosecutor to save his own backside, possibly portending an unpleasant development for the president, Mr. Trump called it another example of fake news. Did the media make up the plea deal out of thin air? Of course not. I'm not suggesting there's never been fake news. I found a recent example, and it's the reason I put the word news in quotation marks here. The story described how a researcher in California made a fascinating discovery when looking into her own family tree. It turns out that she and former United States Senator Harry Reid, who retired last year after 20 years in the Senate, share a rather unsavory ancestor. A fellow named Remus Reid, the story reported, was a notorious horse thief and train robber in the Wild West in the 1880s, and he was something else. He was Senator Reid's great-great-uncle. The researcher uncovered a photograph of the infamous Reid standing on a gallows in Montana awaiting his fate in 1889. His years as a bad guy included stealing horses and robbing a train known as the Montana Flyer 6 times. He was caught by Pinkerton detectives, tried, convicted, and hanged. His capture ended 2 years on the lam after escaping from a Montana prison. In other words, this was a really bad dude. The California researcher emailed Senator Reid for more information about great-great-uncle Remus, and according to her, the senator's office sent her back the following biographical sketch to help in her research. And I'm reading now word for word from the senator's bio of Remus Reid. Remus Reid was a famous cowboy in the Montana Territory. His business empire grew to include acquisition of valuable equestrian assets and intimate dealings with the Montana Railroad. Beginning in 1883, he devoted several years of his life to government service, finally taking leave to resume his dealings with the railroad. In 1887, he was a key player in a vital investigation run by the renowned Pinkerton Detective Agency. In 1889, Remus passed away during an important civic function held in his honor when the platform upon which he was standing collapsed. End of quote. How's that for spinning an obituary? I'm surprised the story didn't also say that Remus Reid was an environmentalist because he preferred traveling by horseback rather than consume coal as a passenger on a train. Well, there's just one problem with this whole saga. It's a made-up story. The same hoax has been perpetrated over the years at the expense of other politicians, including Senator Ted Stevens of Alaska, Al Gore's former wife Tipper, and even Hillary Clinton. In Hillary's case, the bad guy was named Rodham, of course. FactCheck.org says the man in the old photo was indeed a bad guy, but his name was not Reid, it wasn't Gore, it wasn't Rodham. It was Black Jack Ketchum, who was hanged in New Mexico, not Montana, and it was in 1901, not 1889. It's a great story and a funny one, but I'm with the president on this one. It's just fake news.
Life as We Know It is written and hosted by Tom Walton and is a production of WGTE Public Media. Life as We Know It with Tom Walton can be heard on WGTE FM 91 every Monday afternoon during All Things Considered at 5:44 p.m. or hear past episodes at wgte.org/life.